Hey everybody, Adam Savage here with Stephen Lane from Propstore. Stephen, we're in your private office here today.
We are, yes, absolutely.
Looking at pieces of your personal collection.
Correct, yeah.
And I have to assume you've been in this business a long time. You've sold thousands and thousands of items to collectors all over the world of film history. Are bat suits like 5 to 10% of your market? You've moved so many bat suits over the years.
We have found a number of bat suits over the years. I mean, you're absolutely right. Obviously, we have some in our current auction that's going on as well. They do have a tendency to maybe rotate around a little bit, and there are more out there than perhaps you'd expect there to be. But there are none that I'm aware of that were film used from the Batman. There's nothing.
Really,
out there.
nothing's made it out.
Nothing's out there so far. Yeah,
wow.
I mean, obviously it's a very live franchise right now, so Warner Brothers aren't looking to release anything.
So this is a replica.
Yeah, so this is really the next best thing. So this is one that was made by the production during production as a consumer products giveaway. So this was designed really as much as anything else to be given away to senior executives, to people who have been involved with the production, to people who are going to be promoting the film and the likes as well.
And this is Robert Pattinson's mask from The Batman.
We should say that, shouldn't
Which
we?
I also want to point out is like, I grew up with the '89 Batman. I love that suit. It's so iconic. And the engineer in me knows how ludicrous all those, what I think of as the cartoon suits, the Panther suits, the wet suits, how unrealistic they are from an armor perspective. So I love the Christian Bale era.
Me too.
And even more, I love it. I think this is objectively the best batsuit ever.
Very, very clever. Yeah, and in fact, aside from this, I think actually the way the cape connected and you get that silhouette with it as well was just superb. You know, that image that you get to see with it. But this is brilliant. I think it's an amazing piece of engineering. And just going back to what I was saying before, you know, even though it's not a film used piece, knowing that it was made by the costume department during the production
from the same molds,
from the same molds, hand stitched in the same ways, distressed in the same ways as well, and just, you know, amazing piece of design by Glenn Dillon and then also Dave Crossman as well.
I'm such fans of their work.
And then Pierre Bahana, you know, just a magician for putting something like this together.
And Pierre's the one that designed how this mask actually physically works, how it assembles, and this is the other thing is, the biggest problem with Batman has always been, how does he turn his friggin' head?
How does he turn his head? Yeah, absolutely.
Pierre did this, and it's not even fully rendered here, but Pierre did this incredible, intricate amount of engineering on the esophagus of this bat mask.
Really?
Yeah, it's where these pieces all, and here they're together, but having talked to him about the specifics, and the real thing, they are all on elastic and can move together, but stay coherent.
Yeah, very clever. Very clever.
It looks like it's leather and stitched, and the fact is it's urethane, but it is actually stitched.
It is stitched, yes, yeah. No, as far as I'm aware, the majority of what you're looking at there is hand stitched as well, which is phenomenal.
Well, and I had heard that Matt Reeves, the director, one of my favorite directors, was really particular that he wanted it to look as if Robert Pattinson could have built it.
Oh, yeah, and that worked, didn't it? I mean, it really does.
When I look at first of all, the leather texture, but also the marking and the evidence of fighting that is across this mask.
The distressing on it, yeah, and directly comparable. I've seen a real one up close as well. And, you know, it is directly comparable to the distressing on it at the same time, all the scratching and the dinks and the channeling into the sort of leather work there as well.
So if this was made for an executive giveaway, can you talk, are you able to speak about how you obtained it?
Well, it actually came from a senior executive who worked on the film.
Amazing.
And essentially, he was gifted it. He didn't want it, so I bought it from him.
Amazing.
So, I mean, that's fine. It's numbered on the inside. I think there's a number 32 there. From what I understand, I think maybe about 50 were made in total.
What a thing.
It is the only one that I've seen surface. You know, I know a couple of other guys who've got them. They absolutely don't want to part with them. You know, again, other senior executives who worked on the film.
Did it come with the Batarang?
It did, yes. So this whole, yeah, please do. Yeah, so I think, you know, Pierre was actually instrumental in constructing, you know, the majority of this as the consumer product. And it was, I think a lot of it was, you know, it had to work as a display in itself as well. So it comes complete with really essentially is, you know, directly comparable to a Hero Batarang.
Right.
So you've got that sort of movement in it. It's got a you know, and that's very sort of film made, isn't it? This sort of piece of brass work just sitting in here, you know, that's not a sort of mass produced thing there. but it just really has that great movement to it. But also it has that lovely distressing work on it as well.
Yeah, well, it looks to have
really
been
nice finishing.
sputter coated in a silver and then painted black, and then the black pulled down.
Yes.
Really, it makes it feel really dimensional and like it is a real weapon.
And of course, the batarang that sits on his chest, though, wouldn't match that. So even though you've got it sort of sitting in the chest position here, because it had to be curved to fit the profile of the chest. So actually, when he's wearing it, it's sort of like one shape. But then when he's using it as a weapon, it's actually a completely different shape.
So just a little cheat.
Just a little cheat there, I think, going on. Or maybe there's a backstory to it that we don't know about.
Sure.
But yeah, maybe it just...
Oh, so then in making this display, this is an accurate depiction of sort of the rough volume of the collar on the suit. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, I think it is.
This isn't part of the mask, it's part of the display.
Yeah, it's just part of the display. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to take a close look at this with a flashlight.
Come on, let's get it on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's some hard parts in there. Wow. Oh man. It just...
And so I think some of this comes apart, that the way that it actually breaks apart is going to be very comparable to the way that it was constructed for actually wear and use on set as well. So
may I?
Yeah, please. I mean, maybe should we turn it to the camera? Just
Thanks for explaining to me how my job works. I had forgotten briefly in my excitement.
I was thinking, nobody's going to see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
If there's an easy way for you to do this anyway.
Well, I'm wondering if I don't want to...
I've never tried to take it off. And look, I'm not concerned about it because it's a robust thing and it's only recently made. But
yeah, there's some very, very fine Velcro there. And if I remember correctly, that should terminate in like a carbon fiber fin that registers this throat into the mask. But I don't think I can get quite back there. I feel like I don't want to over...
it doesn't lift at all anyway. I mean, it's
it's all really held nicely onto the...
Yeah.
We'll leave that be. Replica or no.
But it is cool, the way that you've got this movement down here, as you say, and it allows for it. And it is interesting because that is sort of connected there, isn't it? But at the same time does have a separation to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to show this, is that there's so much really beautiful topography to this mask, creating character and creating... I mean, there's an angry skull under here. Yeah. I love this extra nose patch, which feels to me like, clearly I didn't make my nose thick enough. Got to make it thicker. It's like it's an iterative battle process to like build this costume.
Yeah, definitely. And it's small as well. I mean, that's tight fitting, isn't it? And I know all of the cowls ultimately are tight fitting, but I think what you've got with this, it's a much thinner material, isn't it? Even though we've got this reinforcement up in here, the support for it, when you're actually just holding
it's about as thin as a leather jacket.
Yeah, I mean, it's super light, isn't it? And you've got to think that that's going to be lighter than some of the sort of thick foam latex that's been used historically, or some of the urethane rubbers and things that have been used for some of the prior cowls.
And I appreciate the how much more versatile urethanes are now in executing different softnesses of rubber and durability, because they are more stable than latexes.
Right,
and,
yes. Yeah.
I want them to stick around as long as possible.
Yeah, me too. And maybe you're getting a lot more texture off it as well because of that too. With the foam, I think I don't know whether you just really struggle to get some of that great texturing that you got, because it really feels and looks like leather, doesn't it?
It 100% feels exactly like leather. And I think that using actual stitching of the urethane is a genius idea.
Yeah. Don't cast it in. Actually stitch it together, please.
I'm the kind of collector who's very agnostic about whether something is a replica or the real thing.
I know,
but
we've had those conversations.
But nothing makes me happier than knowing that a replica I have came from studio molds, came from the original maker, came from the desk on which the real one was made.
Yeah. No, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Dude, it's an incredible mask. It's the best Batman mask. Seriously, it's the one that, objectively my favorite.
I've got to find a real one now. I mean, that's what I've got to do. You're very happy with this, but for me, I've got to find a real one.
Hey, when you do, you can let me know when you're going to let this one go, and maybe we can make a deal.
Okay, all right. We can have a conversation.
Stephen, thank you so much for opening up your personal collection for us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. We have some brand new merch available at the store. A dog's age ago, I mean like 2018, 2019, this wonderful graphic designer named Brian Otterer reached out to us and sent us some stickers. He has a design firm called Dash 3 Dots, and we loved his stickers so much we wanted to sell them on the merch store. Well, he updated them with our new logo, and we've got Adam in Martian spacesuit sticker. We've got Adam in the shuttle suit sticker. We've got Adam in the Apollo suit sticker. And my personal favorite, Adam in the alien spacesuit sticker. Get yours now, tested-store.com. Hey!